There are people who are trying to pigeonhole this as a leftist thing and a right thing. And what we're really talking about, hear me because I'm going to throw you when I say this. We're talking about a love-torn child, a kid. This is probably his first real relationship, and somebody was disparaging the person that he loved. He sat on that building for 30 minutes before he took the shot. Why did he wait until the first word trans came up? Then he took the shot. You think he heard it? He could hear it? I think he could hear it. I think he also, I don't believe he was motivated politically. I think this was motivated emotionally. I think this was a emotionally stunted person who literally, when I say it this way, just hear me, tried to defend his significant other, not trying to defend some ideology.
Guys, the evidence here is overwhelming. He said, Charlie Kirk, I can't stand this hate anymore. I'm going to take him out. The testimony from him and the statements of his family, he had become more left-wing. He etched the statements that are made by the left about Republicans and conservatives and Charlie Kirk fascist on the bullet casings.
He made a joke about it in his last text.
Well, it doesn't sound like a joke to me because someone's dead and about to be buried. Well, so it doesn't sound like a joke to me. So I'm just telling you, there is an effort. There was an effort all weekend long on the left to try to make this guy sound like he was a conservative. That failed. That was passed around all over the weekend. That has now failed. The evidence has now come out. He was motivated by hate. He was motivated by left-wing radicalism. He got mixed up with some trans ideology in his life. We'll learn more about that, I'm sure, when more evidence and testimony comes out. We are looking around the edges of this for something other than what's staring us in the face. Left-wing radicalism got this kid. He went up to a roof and he murdered our friend, and that's what happened. Let me just say, I don't think that anybody is disputing.
There is no unity with people who scream at children over their parents' politics. There is no unity with someone who lies about what Charlie Kirk said in order to excuse his murder. There is no unity with someone who harasses an innocent family the day after the father of that family lost a dear friend. There is no unity with the people who celebrate Charlie Kirk's assassination. And there is no unity with the people who fund these articles, who pay the salaries of these terrorist sympathizers, who argue that Charlie Kirk, a loving husband and father, deserved a shot to the neck because he spoke words with which they disagree.
No unity. No unity. I want to get your thoughts on this, ladies.
Absolutely, there is no unity. First of all, you cannot have unity with someone, people who want you dead, or who celebrate you being dead, or people that you love. Number one. Number two, you cannot have unity unless there is a what do they call it, a mea culpa, an acceptance or an admittance of, you know what, I was wrong. Forgive me. I'm sorry. Whatever. You can't have unity there. You cannot have unity with people who have a totally different ideology, and their ideology is basically summed up in death culture, death of our country, death of children, certainly death of people, Charlie Kirk and people like him. You can't have unity with that. That's not a unifying foundation, okay? You can have unity with people who you might agree on, what do you call it, the 80-20 rule, if you will, but it also depends on what that 80-20 part is, or what that 20% part is, okay? It depends on what that exactly boils down to. But bottom line, no, you cannot have unity with people who literally want you dead.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, at some point, what's going to happen is there's going to have to be a meeting of the minds. And what the leftists, what the liberals would like to see is for the right to stop talking. To stop talking to the children if they spent the last 15, 20 years indoctrinating and undoing it in a week or two, right? They want us to stop saying what's true because it ruins their false narrative. We're not going to stop. So right now, in this moment, we're at odds and there's not much common ground. Before, the common ground used to be wanting to be a great citizen, wanting to be the best American you can be. That used to be the middle ground. But when you have sitting legislators who say they hate this nation, there is no middle ground. There is no middle ground. There was a girl today that was all over social media because she jumped in some guy's face who was holding a sign that said R.I.P. Charlie, and she's singing and dancing in his face, and then was suddenly surprised that she was arrested because, oh my God, after all, she's a Black woman. How dare they arrest her? How dare they arrest her for disturbing the peace? How dare they expel her from school for violating their code of conduct? She's a Black woman. She should be exempted from that. Well, we don't believe that. We don't believe that the color of your skin should put you in or out of anything. We all have to get to a point where being a good American is the best thing. I've heard it said a few times, over the course of the weekend, we don't want 9/11 America. We want 9/12 America. You remember that day after 9/11, everybody was a patriot. There was more flags out. People were watching out for their neighbors. That's the America that we want. And we have fallen so far away from that so very quickly because of the evil, because of the hate. Telling people all Republicans are Nazis is ridiculous. But what's worse is that these young people are believing them and going to prison for acting on it, losing their lives for acting on it. And JD's right. And until you fix that, don't come to me talking about peace.
Yeah, I 100% agree. This is not the time to compromise, and it's not the time to pretend there can be unity with those who despise life, truth, and freedom. And I'm not even, the left has changed. You had leftists or Democrats or whoever on the left who are say, oh, I don't have an issue with, I'm not pro-life, but I'm not pro-choice, or I believe it should be a woman's right. Now they believe it should be encouraged. Like this is something that you instead of abstinence or instead of birth control, they believe abortion should be the new birth control. I mean, Absolutely. This is madness. The left has built a death cult and they want you to bow. Mm-hmm. But we will not bow. This is why they're so upset. We're going to stand with like minds, with fellow believers, with patriots who refuse to be silenced. This is what we're talking about. It's time to gather, folks, to strengthen each other and to fight back for our families, our faith, and our nation. And the time is now. This is not a time for silence. It's time for courage. That's what it's time for. And guess what? I'm sick of trying to convince people. I really am. You lost me, man. You really lost me this time. I'm telling you, I'm done. I started out this platform. We all did. We were trying to create a platform where we could talk to the urban community and convince them, show them truth, show them that people that look like them and speak like them, we're right here in the city. And it's, conservatives aren't racist, not all of them, we just want our country. We want good communities. We started out wanting to do that. We did. Y'all lost me. I'm done. I that's not what I want to do anymore. Mm-hmm. Right now, I'm talking to people who have an open mind, who are already searching. I'm not trying to convince anymore. Exactly. I'm looking for my people, and my people doesn't necessarily look like me. That's it. This is where I am right now. Family or friends, as I'm talking about too. Mm-hmm. I don't care. If you are pushing this death cult, if you're pushing these vile, if you're pushing this nastiness and this hatred and this racial idolatry, I want nothing to do with you. That's it.
You said it better than I did, KJ. I had mine laced with some expletives. So there are just some people that I think are confused and they don't quite get it, right? But there are people who are not confused, who know the truth, who purposely, willfully, if you will, are gleefully unbalanced.
Yeah.
And it's all fun and games until somebody comes in and straightens you out. It's all fun and games until reality bites you in the butt, right? So when you see all these people all over the internet that had all this to say on Charlie's passing, and now they're losing their jobs and they're crying, and what am I going to do and how am I going to make it? Those are the thoughts, Precious, you should have had well before you took to social media to flap that trap. You're chasing fame, but have not considered the long-term implications of what you said. And by long-term, I mean more than 60 characters. I mean long-term, like it took them 2 days, the internet, to hunt you down, find your employer, get you fired, and you can come right back to the same social media that cost you your job to complain about losing said job. You have not learned the lesson. Now, those are the folks that can't come. They're entertaining, make no mistake, but they don't have the cognitive ability to be a good American at this point. They've drank too much Kool-Aid. There are some people who just aren't going to make the cut. I've been saying this since I've been on the show. Some people ain't going to make it.
And, you know, honestly, it's not any one of our job, none of us, to quote unquote save anybody. Can't do it. You know, I've always been, you know, open to talk. I will talk to just about anybody, right? But I'm not trying to, you know, so much persuade you and pull you over to what I think. No, I don't. I mean, like you, KJ, been there. I don't have the patience to, you know, try to quote unquote preach to the masses, so to speak. And I certainly will not go down this racial idolatry. No, it's not. Were we talking about that clip? We were talking about that clip. Charlie Kirk was talking about race, right?
Right.
About DNA. People, this has been one of the oldest tropes or oldest things oldest tricks in the book to divide people and get them to believe this construct that, oh, your skin color means this and your skin color means that, and all of these things. And this is what people focus on. And we wonder why we have not gotten beyond that. Oh, this is a tried and true method that you want to call it the enemy, demons, communists, Marxists. They use it because it works, and they still have a whole cadre, a whole congregation, if you will, of people who will follow them down the wrong path because of skin color. It's amazing. It amazes me.
Yeah.